Humility is the key to success. Humility is the key to success. Christ will choose the humble one, not the prideful one. The humble. The one who does not really care where they sit or where they are to be seated. Whether you tell me to sit at the front or at the back or even in the street, for me it's the same, because what matters is not the place, but the owner of the place. Is God in the church? Yes. Is he outside of the church? Is God everywhere? Yes. So now, if you're seeking God, what does it matter if you are being honored or dishonored for the sake of the Lord? It's all beautiful. Some people say the bishop got deposed from the church. Huh? Well, let me see what you would do if you get deposed from your position and get a knife in your eye and still preach the gospel. What are you going to do, my friend? No. You see, no. The reason why I'm saying this, I want us all to come and focus. It is about Jesus Christ of Nazareth. You see, the issue is, if I get treated like a king in the church and love Christ, that love is fake. But will I love Christ and then get thrown in the gutter? Now that is true love, if I continue loving him. Christianity is not a sermon. It's not a song. It's not a preach. It's not a service that I do. Christianity is life. I need to live Christ on Good Friday and on Sunday resurrection. I need to love him in both situations equally. I need to love him when he was dragged in the streets, spat on, kicked, punched, ridiculed, and then shredded to pieces. I need to love him. And I also need to love him when he rose glorified, triumphant from the dead, and went up to the heaven of all heavens and sat in glory at the right hand of his beloved Father. I need to love him on Good Friday and on Good Sunday. If I only love him on Good Sunday, I am fake Christian. But if I love him on Good Friday, definitely I'll love him on Good Sunday, on Sunday resurrection. Christ wants people that would love him for himself, not for what he does for you. If you're waiting for the Lord to give you something, then you love him, that is a selfish, fake love. But will you love him even when he gives you nothing? Will you love him? Will you love him? I'm not asking you now to give an answer. That's a life journey. That's a life journey. You may say yes, but after 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, you start getting tired. And after the beard goes white, you'll really get exhausted. What are you going to do? Pack up and leave? Or persevere? Huh? My dear friend, my advice to you, before you talk, think. What do you know about the bishop? Don't say what you're not capable of. The locusts, they fly in a swarm without a king, without a leader, but they live in absolute peace and harmony. Verse 28, which is the fourth insect. Verse 28, the spider skillfully grasps with its hands, and it is in kings' palaces. Look at the book of wisdom, how it talks. Man, this alone says that there is God. This is not a man's work here, my beloved. People can't write these things. The spider skillfully grasps with its hands, and it is in kings' palaces. What does that mean? What is King Solomon trying to teach us here through this book of wisdom. I'll put it in a simple term. One day the spider decided to walk into the king's palace, because it says, but they are in king's palaces. So this spider was walking and saw this big building. Says, oh, that's beautiful. And then he decided to walk into the king's palace. So he's a little tiny creature. So he, under the door, a small opening here, there, enters the palace. He says, whoa, that is a very expensive place, brother. And then he's walking, wandering around, seeing all those family pictures hanging on the walls, very expensive one, Mona Lisa and Shanalisa and Annalisa and all of them. Oh, and Annalisa's here too. And then the spider comes across this extremely expensive crown of the king. And then the spider decides, for no reason, to spend the night in that crown, sleeps in the crown. So he climbs up the crown, and on top of it finds a cozy cushion, a nice, very expensive material, cloth, and then it's all diamonds and gold, and maybe it's worth a couple of $1 million. And the spider sleeps and makes its bed the crown that is worth $2 million. The richest man on earth, I don't think their bed is worth $2 million. See, the spider lives, much better than the richest man on earth. So the spider sleeps that night and that crown worth $2 million. But what does the verse say? It says, the spider skillfully grabs with its hands, and it is in king's palaces. While the spider is sleeping in that extremely expensive crown, but the hands of the spider are clinging on the very strings that it makes, not the crown. I'll read it again. The spider skillfully grasps with its hands. What does it grasp with its hands? The string that makes that spider web. So while it's sleeping in that expensive crown, but the hands are not clinging on the crown, they are clinging on the very string that it makes. Who gave the string to the spider? Who can tell me? Who gave the string to the spider? Who said God? No, who said God? I want to see you. Peace, yeah. Absolutely right. God. God gave that very string to the spider because God created the spider and created everything the spider can make. Look at the spider. The spider is sleeping in a crown worth $2 million, but the hands of the spider are only clinging on what God gave it, nothing else outside of that. What are our hands clinging on to? What God gave us? Or what others have? Look at the next door neighbor. They just got a new Mercedes-Benz. Shame on you, husband. He's still driving that old Ford, a piece of wreck. Oh, every time she leaves the house with a different dress. I've been putting this on for the last 20 years. And that young man bought his fiancée a $50,000 diamond ring for the wedding, and you are trying to bluff me and get me a $2,000 ring for my wedding? What are you clinging on? What is within your capacity, that's all yours. What's not, don't try to make it yours, because you'll be found as a thief. The spider is content with what God gave it, even though it's an expensive crown. But I will not stretch my hand on something God never gave me. I'll only hold on to what God gave me. That piece of string, maybe the string is worth a couple of cents. But to the spider says, this is the most precious gift God ever gave me.